Pizina
and Co.
Welcome to
Second-Hand Haunting,
where we go on holiday and stay in haunted inns.
Try to make sense. Wait, I'm the only one. Try to make fun of me.
Try to make soap of them. Okay. This is just a little bonus episode, I think. Amber and I... Hey, Amber.
Hi, Callum.
That's right. Are on our honeymoon. We have arrived in the Black Swan Inn in York, which is the only officially haunted inn that we have booked on our trip.
That's correct. It's a charming little pub. It's not got a straight line in it.
No, it's old as hell.
The stairs have a sign that say, warning, like slanted stairs.
But even that sign is crooked. Look, it's showing its age, but it's also well looked after.
Yes, it's not the worst place we've stayed in by a long shot.
Not at all. Not at all. It's old where it can be and modern where it needs to be.
Yes, the bathroom is lovingly renovated.
Yeah, we'll get to the bathroom, won't we?
That's getting cut.
What? No! Would you like to hear a little bit about the ghosts that supposedly haunt this place before we get to our first-hand haunting experience?
Sure. We can also talk about the ghost tour that we saw come into the bar while we were having a drink.
Yeah, it's a renowned haunted place. It's great. A guy comes in with a friggin' pirate's hat and a masquerade mask, I think, trying to be a highway robber.
Yes, talking about a Charlie Chaplin ghost I seem to overhear.
Oh, spoilers. Ghostly haunts. The Black Swan in York has 3 ghosts and is on the city's well-trodden ghost trail. The pub close to the Minster is haunted by a Chaplin-esque figure who has been known to walk almost anywhere.
Almost anywhere?
It doesn't say where he doesn't walk.
Okay.
In fact, we're moving on. Sorry, I'm taking this from a plaque on the wall. There's not a lot here.
Yep.
There is also a young woman with long blonde hair whose face cannot be seen as she stares intently into the bar fireplace.
Interesting. I didn't pay much attention to the bar fireplace while we were down there, although it was charming down in the bar area.
Yeah, well, there's 3 of them. Well, no, there's one bar, isn't there? Then there's
Yeah.
one little restaurant and then one little...
Parlour?
Yeah. And then there's some toilets and then an outdoor courtyard area. Creaky as heck stairs coming up. And then just some rooms. So yeah, we didn't spend much time in the actual bar.
No.
But let's check it out next time. If you see a woman with long blonde hair, try and see her face.
Important to note, we did see a black cat the moment we entered the building.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, there's both a black cat sculpture affixed to the front of the bar, and I think that's in honour of the cat that lives here. I think I read that on the website somewhere, and I'm not going to look it up. That they keep a cat to keep the ghosts away.
That's cute.
Yeah, they've got a little food bowl and water bowl out for her.
Yeah,
She hangs around. She's
That's
cute.
right. I hope we get to meet the cat.
Me too. The third phantom is unlikely to be seen by...
You've paused.
I have. Would you like to try and read that word?
Swan?
Okay,
No?
you read it immediately, yes. The third phantom is unlikely to be seen by Swan customers. It is a pair of male legs which appear on the staircase in the licensee's accommodation.
Right. We're unlikely to see that. So how do they know that the legs are a thing?
Well, I think we are unlikely to see it because we're not staying in the licensee accommodation.
Ah,
so the landlord
right.
would have a room here somewhere. The stairs up to his room are
Sure.
haunted.
Okay.
But no one else can see that. Only him. Those are his special legs.
Those are great. So, my next question is, which one of these ghosts do you think moved the soap in our room?
Okay, so now we've got to the point where we had to record. Amber and I had a little wander down to the shambles nearby, had a lovely dinner, had a little drink, came back, watched the Doctor Who finale. It was, well, that's
That's my podcast. That's
that's-
a different podcast.
yeah, we're not going to get into
Go over
that
and
now.
please attend carefully for the thoughts on the finale of Doctor Who.
But having watched that from our beautiful 4-poster bed in the room, we immediately had to go down and have more drinks to discuss what the hell we just saw in the restaurant area of the bar. Came back upstairs. Amber needed the bathroom, so she went in there. I started getting sort of unpacked in the normal hotel room sort of thing that you do. She comes blustering out of the bathroom.
That's true. I do bluster.
Normally people bluster into bathrooms. She blusters out of them. And what did you accuse me of doing?
So I went to wash my hands in the bathroom, and in there is one of those little hotel soaps.
Yeah, a little puck of soap, you know the one.
Yeah, it's like a little, this one's circular, little round puck of soap, and it was sitting on its edge, not on its face, on its edge on the sink.
Uh-huh.
What?
And you immediately came out here and did what?
Accused you of putting it up on its edge for the sake of this podcast and pretending that there's a ghost here?
As if I would do that.
Well, why would the soap be up on its edge? That's insanity.
Because you put it there trying to help me with my podcast like a
No.
loving wife.
No, I didn't. I immediately was like, Callum, why are you trying to fabricate ghosts?
I don't know. I'm not trying to fabricate ghosts. I wanted to go through that plaque and make fun of, like, spectre legs. And here you are, setting up soap shenanigans.
Nope. I'm gonna buckle down on this. I did not set up. It was up on its edge, and I showed Callum, and it's possible the soap can sit up on its edge like that. He can confirm that.
I don't believe that the soap can't be on its edge. It's fine. Like, I did not do that intentionally. And you didn't show that to me either before you then washed your hands and put it back normally. So I've got no evidence to the fact that it was upright.
Bit of context. We've had some drinks. I was not at that point in my mind thinking, oh, it's up, I should quickly go get him. I was thinking, oh, he's done that as a joke. Ha ha ha. I'll wash my hands, come out here and say, Callum, why did you do that? Only to discover he didn't do that.
No, why would
Ollie isn't here, so I have to come up to bat for him. And say, no, soap was up on its edge. Which one of the ghosts do you think did it? I think it was the chaplain one.
If anything, it was me accidentally just throwing it on the bench and accidentally getting it on its side.
That's a pretty bold shot.
You're right. It's less likely than you setting it up.
I didn't set it up.
I didn't. Look, okay. We're obviously not going to resolve this tonight.
It's clearly haunted.
This is not clearly haunted.
Actually, to be honest, Callum did accuse the staff of sneaking up here to do it while we were having a drink in the bar.
Yeah, well, we were talking about ghosts. How could you not? And there's at least 3 staff members down there. Only one of them can fit in the bar at a time. And also a ghost tour guide. Like, they know this place is haunted. Haunted.
You admitted it.
Air quotes. So, look, we're not going to resolve this now, are we?
No, I don't think so.
So, I guess we'll call it there for the night.
And we'll get back to you if there were more hauntings on day 2.
Of Callum and Amber's honey. What were you saying?
Secondhand haunting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Secondhand haunting. Alright, that'll do.
I'm so annoyed that I didn't get you when it was up on its side.
Yeah, me too. Welcome back to Secondhand Honeymoon. What?
Thanks.
You're welcome. So we've just had a lovely day wandering around the highways and byways of York, popping into shops, buying some little ghost potteries.
Yeah, buying lots of ghosts.
Yeah, way more than we thought we would. Some of those are on Instagram already, if you want to go check them out. We highly recommend the York Ghost Merchants for all your spooky needs.
Oh, they're so adorable. I love them.
Now, we do have a ghost tour planned for this evening.
Ooh.
And I thought we might be having a chat after that. But while Amber was getting ready, I just popped down for a quick pint in the aforementioned Black Swan Inn that we are staying in. And got chatting to the bartender down there, who actually lives above the bar. He lives in the landlord's accommodation.
Which we learnt yesterday has some mysterious legs on the stairs.
That's the one. So we just got chatting. I swear I did not seed the conversation with me having this podcast whatsoever. But he did ask me if I've had any haunting stuff going on.
Did you mention the soap?
Not yet. Not yet.
What?
He wanted to talk.
Okay.
He's in a chatty mood. It is his 60th birthday. He doesn't give a fuck.
Okay.
He's a good man. Let me try many, many beers before settling on something. And has 2 cracker stories that he wanted to tell me. Now, we only got to one of them before a bunch of other patrons came in and we started to need to get ready for the ghost tour. But the first one he wanted to say is, since he lives above the bar, he's got like full access to the facilities of the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since this is a B&B, they've got washing machines and stuff, but he needs to pick and choose his time to get his washing done that doesn't interrupt their activities.
Okay.
Because he's not involved in the B&B. He just rents the room upstairs,
sure.
right? And he tends bar on a Sunday night for them, and that's it. In repayment, he gets to pick the playlist, and I can agree, it's excellent. He's doing some good work down there. But he just so happened to need to get a bunch of washing done on the same night that the B&B was booked out for a ghost hunting group.
Fantastic.
Right? So apparently they book out like all of the bedrooms up here, all as one like big mass booking. And they do like laser light shows and Tesla balls and all sorts of crazy stuff upstairs.
Right, okay.
He thinks it's a bunch of crock, frankly, and thinks it's way overproduced. And look, we did look at booking one of those weekends ourselves, and I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, I think we're just going to do this one ghost tour for fun, and that's enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to this story.
So, 2 a.m, the bartender is pretty sozzled. He does live above a bar.
Uh-huh.
And he thought, perfect opportunity to go and get my washing done.
Yeah, I love it when people put on a washing machine at 2 a.m. when I'm in a pub.
Well, there's normally nothing else going on
Yeah.
a Sunday night. Except he'd forgotten there was a ghost hunting tour around. So there he is, creeping down the stairs at night with just a hoodie on. His grey pants is what he said. Now, this is England, so he's talking about underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Carrying a big sack full of washing.
A sack of washing.
Yes.
Not even a basket, a sack.
Sack of washing is what he described, yes. At the same time, the ghost hunting group is creeping around the hotel in night vision goggles recording everything, and he gets caught on camera just briefly in the corner creeping down the stairs in his underpants, a hoodie, and it gets labelled on the internet as a resident monk.
Wow.
So
Because monks famously go around in hooded, just top halves of the robes.
yeah. Well, during the day, yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's night. Time to get a bit more breezy down here. Just unzip the bottom half of my robe.
We know that there's 1 or 2 priest holes, at least one tunnel leading away from this inn. So
we
sure, monks could be up to all sorts of stuff. So, look, I haven't had time to look it up myself, but if you search the internet for the Black Swan Inn in York, monk ghosts, you can get a brief glimpse of this poor guy walking downstairs in his underwear at 2 a.m. Slightly sozzled.
Fantastic.
So yeah, hopefully we don't encounter that at any point tonight.
I hope not.
But he has promised that he'll be tending bar all evening till 11 p.m. So after our ghost tour, he's happy to tell story number 2.
Nice. We'll update you when we've heard it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you then, everybody. Woo. Welcome to Second-Hand Honeymoon.
Where we go on ghost tours.
And try not to give all their secrets away.
Okay, so for some context, we just went on a ghost tour around the streets of York.
Run by an absolute lunatic who we love. What's it called then?
Well, can you call him a lunatic and then also shout out his...
I think he would enjoy that.
It's just simply called The Ghost Trail. You meet at 7:30 p.m. at the Minster at the West Doors.
That's the Minster in York, by the way. If you hadn't realised from the earlier part of this episode.
We had no idea what this was. We just saw Ghost Tours, £5, and went, you know what? How bad could it be for £5?
It was worth £5. Not the ghosts, but the man himself, whose name was
Greg.
Greg, thank you, who has obviously done this every night for the last... How many years of his life would you say?
Well, he got a certificate of excellence on TripAdvisor in 2013. He was the Yorkshire Tourist Board's White Rose Awards for Tourism finalist in 2006.
Ooh.
And he was the runner-up for the Tourism Awards of York in 2004.
Okay, so this man's been doing it for 20 years or more. And I don't think his script has changed one bit, has it?
No, he had that thing down perfect. So therefore, he's experimenting and just doing random stuff with every moment of it.
Yeah, he's almost like Nicolas Cage or something in terms of he knows the script inside and out, and he's just entertaining himself with it at this point. Almost every punchline or crescendo of the story was just muted and immediately followed by moving on or watch the step as we go. And what did he then do, Amber? Every single time.
He would either, like, laugh to himself, or he would be like, let's go. Like, some kind of weird pronunciation of the word, let's go.
This way.
Yeah, and then he would hum to himself as he walked along the street. Just in his own lane, flourishing, like, vibing. He was having an amazing time. He was loving it. And then occasionally he would just laugh maniacally to himself, like...
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely worth the tour. I don't want to give away any of his stories. Some of them are known, like they've meshed with things I've heard around York, including the stop at the pub that we are currently staying in. But do you want to say your favourite bit of the tour, perhaps?
I will also just say, like, it was busy. Like, we were probably about one of, like, a group of 20 to 30 people going around. Like, this guy had business.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's cheap. It's probably cheaper than the other ghost tours around. Easy to find right out the front of York Minster. And he's a unique-looking individual.
Yes, but he isn't gimmicky. And this has just turned into a review of him, but he's not gimmicky. We've seen a lot where one person was dressed as a mortuary assistant. We've seen one where they're dressed as steampunk sort of characters. I don't know the best way to describe that.
Perfectly done already.
This guy is just in a suit with a distinct hat, I would say. It's just a floppy black fedora.
Yeah. 6.5 feet tall, easy to spot in a crowd.
Yeah, and he right away introduces himself. He actually chatted to us for quite a while. Like, he went around to every single person on the tour and introduced himself and spoke to them. So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And did you have a favourite bit of the tour?
It's odd to say, but the ending was really good because we walked around a whole bunch of streets of York. Like, you probably just couldn't follow where you were at any one time.
I got lost.
Yeah, and at one point he was like, oh, this is where the head of someone was buried. I'll tell you how that happened to him later. And so he sort of puts a pin in that story and you know that there's a head buried here. And then he walks you all the way through, and then at the very end of the tour you go to a very distinct location, and he sort of ends the whole tour with a description of how that person died, how their head ended up nowhere near where they died, and then how the ghost traverses its way from point A to point B looking for its head. And that was a really cool way to tie in two locations and to end it.
And of that story, I liked the fact that he managed to position himself in just the right way that when he got to a spooky part of the story, what did he do?
I didn't even realize what he'd done. But as he got to the crescendo, he moved his foot, which caused an LED uplight to hit his face and illuminate him from underneath. And it's like, oh, he's planned this. He knew exactly what light he was heading for, where to stand, and how to get himself a free lighting effect.
Yeah, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. So yeah, I don't think we need to spoil any more of his stories or his fun. Aside from, hey, if you're in York, check him out at the Ghost Trail, huh?
Yeah, it's from the front of the Minster, and it says on the flyer, every night, whatever the weather.
Yes.
It'd probably be pretty fun in the rain with umbrellas.
If you could hear him, I think that's probably the only knock I'd give it is it's a big crowd. You can't always hear exactly what he's saying, except for when he just chuckles to himself after something.
Maybe if it was like the weather was bad, not as many people would be there, so it would be just maybe you and him or a few less people. So, but I still think it'd probably be pretty gruesome and fun.
No excuse. Come on down, check him out. Now, I think that probably concludes this portion. No? Oh.
You have to share with us your favourite moment.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'd say this one's a shout out specifically for Ollie, who can't be here with us today because he's not on this honeymoon with us. But I think he would enjoy one of the stories about a workman in a basement doing a bunch of work, and suddenly like a Roman legionnaire bursts through the wall and comes marching through the room, but he noticed that they're all essentially marching on their knees. And it was only like 10 years later or whatever, where they were doing a bunch of refurbishment of the room, that they dug up the floor and discovered that, like a foot and a half under the actual floor was an old Roman road. So those ghosts were marching on what used to be the old road, and it had been paved over so we could only see from their knees upward.
Yeah, that was a cool story.
Yeah. He tells it a lot better than I can. But yeah, Ollie, just thought you'd get a kick out of the ghosts doing their thing in wherever they were. Because I did. And for the rest of the night, we're going to have some drinks, and I'll see if I can catch the ear of the bartender again to hear his second story for the evening. But look, frankly, no promises. I'm not going to stop him from doing his job.
Yeah, it might be the last you hear from me unless something spooky happens in the room or we see a ghost. Or I'll be on the other end of the microphone when you tell me what the bartender tells you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, how the rest of this evening goes. But either way. Oh, wait, no, that's right. Is Salem still here?
No,
so
Salem's slinked away.
No, we briefly had the bar cat in here with us recording. Salem the black cat. But
This podcast always needs to have a cat somewhere in its vicinity.
or a dog. Oh, I do miss little Percy. Anyway, we'll be back to you guys in, I don't know, the sound of a audio stinger, I guess. Welcome back to the final outro of Secondhand Honeymoon. Amber's still here with me.
Hello.
I did have a final chat with John the bartender last night. His second story is a very personal story that only makes sense from his perspective, so I'm not going to attempt to tell it for him. I will say that the haunting bit of it was the fact that he woke up in the middle of the night to 5 shadowy humanoid figures standing around his bed before he finally shook off the sleep and they disappeared and he woke up properly. He does fully admit to having a long history of night terrors and sleep paralysis, and he knows that that's what it was. However, if you do come on down to the Black Swan Inn sometime, have a chat to him about it on a Sunday night. He's very happy to chat, and he has a good story about telling that story that I couldn't possibly ruin for you.
That motorbike could, though.
Motorbikes ruin everything, including lives. But yeah, I think we're on our final night here of York. I don't expect any more spookiness, do you?
No, I don't. But I did have a question for you which was all of the sort of hauntings we hear about in York. They're all old, Roman roads and people being hung and drawn and quartered and beheaded. And one of the main things that our ghost tour guide was joking about was the Deliveroo drivers that are in York. And I guess you can agree that there are a lot, right?
Yeah, they're everywhere. He was constantly warning us about them coming around the corner.
Yeah. So my question is one day will there be a Deliveroo accident? And then we get a ghost tour. It's like, some say they can still see the Deliveroo driver picking up the order from that fateful night from this Pizza Express.
Oh dear. Look, if that does happen, I feel like through retellings it will become just a courier picking up a package for express delivery to his master.
Oh yeah, this podcast is not sponsored by Deliveroo nor Pizza Express.
No. Nor any other brand names that we probably shouldn't mention, just in case.
But yeah, it's been a good time. There's been no more hauntings, but there's been plenty more Salem around the bar.
Yeah, including Salem hay fever, which I wasn't expecting. But, you know what, I'll put up with it.
Because he's adorable.
He sure is. He sure is. So is York, frankly. Look, hauntings aside, this is a wonderful town that, of all of our stops so far, I think I'd come back to.
Yeah, definitely. I loved York. I think we could see so much more of it. Just wandering the streets is the best.
And the room that we have would you agree, is the best so far on the honeymoon?
Yes, I think so. I did like our room in Fort William, but that was a bit more snug. This is a lot more open, I think.
Yes. Open, fancy, old, has character.
Definitely. Good location as well.
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. I think we mentioned before, it was a stop on our own ghost tour. All right, that's probably enough showboating for the bartenders who are listening to us. And I think our dinner's coming soon, so we'll leave it there, eh? Well, cheers, Amber.
Cheers, Callum.
To the next leg. This is a bonus episode, whatever. We'll see you next time for a proper episode of Second Hand Haunting.
The conviction.